Let's say a client's worked with you for a couple months.
Uh-huh.
They've improved a lot of their content. It's way more conversational. It's less linear in terms of the next step. What's the next stage?
Now
Like, how
we
are
c-
you getting them to walk?
now we can actually start to apply some of the techniques and strategies that we've been taught because they're in its proper context now. So now we can start to do the qualification step of it, which is again kind of like attribution. Don't love lead scoring. It's assumption based. What the hell is a five? Why does that mean? What's a 80? I don't know what 80 means. So we got to be more prescriptive about what the next stage is and what that means for your business. And then what is success look like from a marketing standpoint? We have to control what we can control. So is that a product demo? Is that a schedule a meeting? Like what does that actually look like as far as a marketing asset goes? How do we get people to that stage? And then how do we tell our executives that we got them to that stage? And that can take a bunch of different forms. That's also why I don't like attribution because that can go a bunch of different ways. I don't want to be trapped in the. I don't want to trap us in. I need a click. Because let me give you an example. That doesn't have to work like that. So, for example, we can do a campaign that has a reply to, right? If I have a specific salesperson who's good at having that conversation and building that relationship, and I, you know, have that now built that relationship with the audience to now expect a conversation with that salesperson, the response is a reply to. I don't necessarily have a track for that. I mean, you have the email stats, but if that's the best way to get that conversion, then that's the best way to get that conversion. It doesn't have to be a click this button now. And I feel like we're trapped in that mindset because you need the attribution part of it. So however that conversion works for that company and that audience, we need to do that, whatever that looks like. The boss doesn't care. Okay. They don't care. As long as they can say this is successful, that's all they care about. Trust and believe. You've been sold on they care about the dashboard and they need that. They don't. They need to be able to justify what it is that you're doing and the money that you're spending. However you can do that is how you can do that. They don't give a damn about the Salesforce dashboard. Okay? They don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of the technology solutions have been developed because marketing and sales are like underperforming. And there's not a lot of, leads coming in, there's not a lot of revenue coming in. So, these vendors developed a lot of features that kind of make it seem like things are happening. And I think there's some truth to it, but I think that's what um leads marketers astray is they start to focus on just the tactics like lead scoring and like nurture, but they, like you said, they kind of stray away from like what really matters. And my opinion is on that is that, we have like an entire generation of marketers that were taught marketing by HubSpot and by
Yes.
Marketo and by Salesforce.
Correct.
And
That's right.
while some of that education is true, most of it had a singular outcome of like use these tools. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that's why I also appreciate, and like I do too. I like to educate marketers as well because it's coming from like a more unbiased place.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to your point too as well. I've seen it happen where they'll poo-poo good ideas because you can't track it because they feel like that's the only way to measure success. And that's what I try to impose upon people. It's like it's not the dashboard. It's nice, right? But it's really I just need to justify this to someone higher than me. So your CMO has to
Mm,
justify it to your CEO has to justify it to the board. Give them the materials, the empower to do that. That's all they're looking for, right? The Salesforce dashboard is just one way to do that. But if that doesn't work, they will happily take a freaking PowerPoint presentation that says, we sent an email, it had a reply to, and it had this much success to it. That's a win, right? Take that. So that's all. It's just, it's okay if it doesn't follow the format. It's just as long as you can show that result, whatever way that comes about.